on Friday.
Well, hello, friends. Mark Holmes here with my buddy Cowboy Joe Boo. And as always, thank you guys for watching, commenting, and subscribing to the Joe Boo Sports Report. Without you guys, this literally does not work. I mean, seriously, it does not work. Had actually a little brain fart here with the controls. For some reason, my hotkeys aren't working this evening. But we are now open for business, and let's get started because it's an hour-long show, and we've already lost a minute of it. Here we are, 82 days, 19 hours, 23 minutes, and 25 seconds away from the beginning of the 2018 season. Guys, it seems like I've had this clock on forever, and it seems like those numbers just keep ticking down. Really fixed. How you doing, Marcelo, Michael, Cody, Taylor, Sandman, Derek Young? It's nice to see I still have a few fans left. I've had some people that unsubscribed to me today that are definitely pissed off at me, and I realize that I do have an addiction, and that is coffee. You can see the size of my coffee cup. And I know I drink way too much. You guys see me first thing in the morning with a cup of coffee starting the show. And then I'm driving to work with two big-ass cups of coffee. I come home from work. There's any coffee left in the coffee pot, I'm dumping it out. I have been so bad with drinking coffee that coffee cup can sit in the truck all day long, and I'll hit it right there. Once or twice I've made a mistake and found out that the coffee had been there for a day or two and about choked on them. So I had a lot of people see me lose my cool this morning. Literally, I finally had it up to here with some of these people's opinions. And of course, because I have that addiction of coffee, I got two big ass cups. I had two Dallas Cowboy ones. One Michael gave me for Father's Day a year or so ago. The other one I bought in Dallas. And I use them every day so much that it got a leak in the lining, and it just kind of like let coffee in between the layers, and then it started getting nasty, started smelling. So my wife threw it away. We had the Texas one because when we went through, we did a United Way Play 60 billboard campaign, and I literally drove to almost all of the NFL markets with the exception of San Diego and or flew. But I drove over 14,500 miles, and we were at training camps taking photographs of players. And some teams gave you gift bags. So my wife got a gift bag with a Texas big-ass coffee cup. So I'm just grabbing coffee mugs because I need my fix. So that's why you guys saw it in the car. And I know some of you guys will say, no, you're a Texans fan, and you can see all the Texas memorabilia that's in here, can't you? You know, I'm truly a bandwagon fan. And if that's what you truly believe, please, by all means, you don't have to watch. But here's the thing. I love to argue. And you know, when I come through, I don't just give you BS. I don't just come in and say, the Eagles suck. I will give you reasons why the Eagles suck. Or the Giants are stinking Giants. I'll go through the numbers. I'll give you statistics. Now, they may not be perfect. They may not always work out perfectly, but we're talking about football. Something that is almost impossible to predict. But at least I have something and a reason to come up with my conclusions. But I'm so sick and tired of people saying just stupid A stuff when it comes to Dak Prescott. Kennedy's always in there saying, well, Zeke Elliott's going to have to run for 3,000 yards because Dak Prescott's only going to throw for 1,600. What? Come on, man. Let's just not even get... I mean, at least be realistic. Zeke Elliott ran for 1,500 some odd yards. Dak Prescott threw for about 3,600, and we were 13-3. Sounded like a winning formula. Okay, fine. That's what you really believe, but I don't think there's a running back that will ever run for 3,000 yards in a season. Is that you? I hear cleep, cleep, cleep. Okay. Oh, okay. Yeah, your control is controlling this TV as well. Okay, so I was getting some clicking. We got a we're working on the man cave here, so I've been working on the outside. They had a great sale at BJ's, and we got the 65-inch TV for the man cave. I'm working on getting this place ready for the season. So Michael's over here playing with the TV and talking about how big Cole Beasley looks in that 65-inch TV. Okay, you know what? Raider 20. Like you got something to talk about, because you know what? You keep coming in here talking about how bad Dak Prescott is. You do realize that Dak Prescott and your quarterback had almost identical numbers last year. You do realize that, right? See, this is the kind of crap that I'm talking about. Because what I lost it on this morning was this idiot says, well, Dak Prescott is just wasting all kinds of talent. He's got 4 great players, and he's wasting them. And it's like, do you guys just not know anything? Because let's go back to 2014. 2014. And see, I hate to do this, because whenever I bring up the comparisons, people will just say, you just hate Tony Romo. It's not hating Tony Romo. I'm trying to point out to you guys the norms. When I compare Dak Prescott to what other quarterbacks are doing, how dare you compare them to him? It's like, well, okay. If I compare Dak Prescott to what Aaron Rodgers did his first couple of years, it might lead us to a conclusion what is possible. Because you guys don't want to look back at what a quarterback used to be. You're only looking at him now. Tony Romo. Look, Tony Romo had everything. You know what? Tony Romo sat on the bench for 4 years before he even got the field. He got an opportunity to watch, get coached. You had a guy out of college who had 1 rep per OTA practice that became the starter for the Dallas Cowboys and took the team 13-3. And if you don't think that there's anything to that anybody can just do that, then why were we 4-12 the year before? Right? Because clearly Dak Prescott is just a bus driver. He's just that anybody can run that team. Then how come nobody ran it the year before? Same team, same great offensive line. And when you say stuff like Dak Prescott is wasting that talent, go back to 2014. 2014, people will go back to the catch, no catch. He should have been in the Super Bowl. Well, regardless, we weren't. Talk about wasting talent. You had 3 of those guys right there in 2014 that are still here. You had a Tyron Smith who didn't miss time in 2014 with a bad back. You had a younger Tyron Smith. You had a Zach Martin who was already Pro Bowl, All-Pro. You had Travis Frederick, a great center. You had DeMarco Murray, who got 1,800-plus yards rushing. 300-some yards more than DeMarco Murray did in 2016. You had a younger Jason Witten, and you had Dez Bryant with his best season ever, back when Dez Bryant was a top 5 wide receiver. You had all that, and you had a defense that was second in the NFL at taking the ball away. What did we get that year? And it's not shade on Tony Romo. Don't get it twisted. Don't get it twisted. Because in that game, with all of that, if you have all of that talent and you have a great quarterback that's, is St. Tony Romo only threw for 191 yards. Under 200 yards in the playoffs at home. And 2 TDs. So if your argument is that Dak Prescott is just wasting this talent, well, then your argument was Tony Romo wasted the same talent. Actually, more talent. Because you had a young Jason Witten. You had a Dez Bryant who was healthy, balling out. And you had a running back that ran for 300 yards more than Zeke Elliott. So if your argument is that Dak Prescott sucks and Tony Romo's so great, well, didn't they do the same thing? Because in Dak Prescott's game, where everybody keeps talking about Dak Prescott can't throw down the field, Dak Prescott is just a dink-and-duck bus driver. When he played Green Bay in the playoffs, he threw for 355 yards. More yards than Tony Romo ever threw in any playoff game. He had 3 TD passes and 1 interception. The offense had 489 yards. Now, you can't say it was because the defense did it, because the defense gave up 34 points. This is what I'm talking about when I'm not saying Dak Prescott is Hall of Fame quarterback. I'm not saying Dak Prescott is the best quarterback in the NFL. What I'm saying is he's young. He's only been in the league 2 years, 32 games. Actually didn't play in one of those. 31 games, and he's got 22 victories. And quarterbacks have good games, and quarterbacks have bad games. But you guys aren't even giving the man a chance or an opportunity. All you come in and say is, he sucks. He's a nobody. He's a bum. Get him out of here. Similar numbers to the guys around him. More TD passes than Matty Ice last year. More than Cam Newton. More than, Mariota. But yet, you guys, thank you, Whitney. Well, you know what? Here's another thing that people don't seem to put into the argument. Lordy. Y'all. I'm just trying to figure out which guy you are that I made look stupid with all of the gay references. And not that there's anything wrong with being gay. Come on. This is family kind of channel. Yes, I do say a couple of cuss words here and there. But, dude, we don't need that kind of talk in here, okay? And to that point, you guys might remember, or maybe you don't, because you guys seem to have selective memory, you guys that just hate Dak Prescott. Do you remember Dak Prescott getting hit in his hand? His throwing hand?
That's that same game that what's his name ran for the touchdown.
Yeah. Do we know how bad that hand was? Because it was right after that hit on the hand, where the hand...
We still won that game.
We won that game, but you remember, he went into the locker room.
That's what started.
Colby, somebody ran the ball back. We didn't have to play until the second half. He came back, and he actually had to wear a glove for several games after. Is it conceivable
that was Switzer that ran the ball there?
Oh, somebody ran it. Okay.
Switzer.
We did not have to have an offensive play until the next half.
Switzer.
Is it conceivable that maybe his hand was hurt a little bit more than what was let on? Is that a possibility? Because if it was, let's say he had 75 gripping percentage-wise. He couldn't get that spin on. Is that possible that he actually hurt that hand and it was worse than we thought? I'm not making excuses. I'm just trying to at least put out there at least theories. Because bottom line is, there are a lot of teams that had quarterbacks that played worse than him. Still got 22 touchdowns. Still had 6 rushing TDs. Still has a winning record, 22. All I'm saying is, if you're going to come in and trash him, at least give me some proof. Give me some facts to back up your argument. And better yet, you so-called trolls out there that know so much, that keep saying, I'm going to make a channel. Please make a channel. I've been waiting for you guys to make a channel. I'll be happy to bring you on here, and we can have a discussion about Dak Prescott or anything else that you want, or how stupid I am.
Or they can be on my show.
Okay? Because, it's real easy to be out there and just talk stupid stuff. But see, every single day, I've got my face out here. I've got my voice. And I stand behind what I say. You trolls are like cockroaches. When you get beat down, you just run and hide. You never see me run and hide. So, is it possible that Dak Prescott, after taking beatings like he took in Atlanta, that maybe the hand was kind of bad, along with Zeke Elliott? Because here's what's interesting, too. In 2014, Tony Romo, the gunslinger, best season he ever had, you realize it was also the best running game we ever had with DeMarco Murray. So all you guys that say, well, Dak Prescott can't win without a running game. Well, generally speaking, a running game helps your quarterback. Generally speaking, keeping your quarterback upright helps the quarterback and makes him better. What's up, Victor? How you doing tonight? Joe Castillo, Eagle for life. Dak is working man's Tony Romo. Okay. But that's just what I'm saying. It bothers me because you guys, I'm not saying everybody, because some of you guys have legitimate things. I'm not talking to everybody. But there's a lot of you that are out here that just, he sucks. He's not throwing for 400 yards a game. Brother, if we got to throw for 400 yards a game, we ain't going to win. We had Tony Romo throw for, 502 yards, and we still lost the game. Winning football with this team is ball control, run first, set up the pass, control the clock, keep your defense fresh so when they can come out there, the other team is one-dimensional. We can go ahead and end up turning the dogs loose. Man, I would love to lay off the coffee, Brandon, man, but seriously, no joke. If I do not have coffee by 9 o'clock in the morning, I can be, in bed. Wife says, "Oh, let's not get up yet." It's like, I got to get up, honey. My back's hurting and I'm having a headache because I need some coffee. My daughter made me worse because went out to California, was sitting there. She's got, what do you call it? The espresso maker. Ooh, Dad, have some espresso. It's like, wow, it's so little. The iced coffee. Here it is, iced coffee in Kahlua. At night, this much coffee. I just can't let it go, man. I am a coffee head. Fear the Giants. Bandwagon, okay. I see we've got some of the Giant trolls coming out. I think they're thinking that with the worst to first mentality that they're going to be winning the division. But I'll have some thoughts for you guys on why you will or will not win the division. But basically, it'll take a nuclear bomb going off in all the other NFL cities for you guys to win next year. Jeffrey, I am working on that as we speak. I'm going to try and be at Oxnard, as well as we're going to be going on a road trip to Carolina for the season opening game. Just got to check my funds and make sure we have the money and stuff to do that. So hopefully we'll be to both of those. Eagles fan for life. Jason Garrett is better than Doug Peterson.
We're talking about players or coach?
Jason Garrett is better than Doug Peterson.
Oh, coaching.
And that's from an Eagle fan?
Wait. Has Doug Peterson played in the NFL?
I don't know about that, but he just won the Super Bowl. I'm just going to skip that one.
Yeah, I'm not even going to.
Because that's an Eagle fan that's on some crack.
Wait. Is that Des 2022?
No, that's Eagle fan for life, man.
Because Des 22 is confused unless his name's actually Des.
There you go, Kevin. You forgot about that. That Tony Romo didn't even play his first 2 years. But that's enough on that situation. Okay, again, anybody who thinks I'm a bandwagon fan, no problem. No problem. I've got 32 Joe Boos, and I do, as soon as I get done with this one, I'll be doing a Texans show, and then I'll be doing a Cleveland Browns show. Get out of here with that crap. Can you name top 3 teams to win Super Bowl rings? Okay. Dak is the greatest leader and original Captain America. Okay. Well, yeah. Don't take my word for it. You're right. Take Roger Staubach's for it. Ooh, Fear the Giant. You sound a little bit mad, man. Wow. See, that's I'm gonna pull a Michael Anthony here. I love to hate. It fuels me. It fuels me. Seriously, dude. Watch your language. And I've actually lost a few pounds here. I'm not quite a fat blob, okay? I'm kind of a medium blob right now, okay? Jeez. Get it right at least. Philly 500, man, I'm doing okay. Anita Taylor, let's move on. All right, we'll move on from that. Dak Prescott thinks that we're going to surprise a lot of people this season. And I think we are too, because just from the simple fact of a change in personnel. you're not going to know coming out of the box how the Cowboys are going to use the personnel they have. You got Trayvon Austin. You got Zeke Elliott. You're going to be running that crazy, but you don't know what the Cowboys are planning. Now that they're not going to be focusing in on going for Dez Bryant,
You don't know what they're going to do.
what are they going to do? You could look back to 2016 and get a clue. Cole Beasley was an integral part, in fact, our team leading wide receiver in 2016. Go figure, 63 catches. You'll probably see him moving around. And so far in minicamp and workouts, you've seen him in the slot. You've also seen him on the outside, which I'm happy to see because that was one of those things that I kept wondering is, okay, why don't we try and move Dez around? Because it seemed like he was always on the outside, always doing the same basic routes. And as we go back to All or Nothing, those first couple of episodes when the Cowboys were having their lunch handed to them by Denver, I swear, the coaches looked like deers caught in the headlight. It was kind of like, well, they're stopping the run. What do we do? They stopped the run. Okay, come up with another plan. And I look at the Atlanta game. I hate to go back to that Atlanta game because, God, that was painful. But some days a guy just doesn't have it. Chaz Green did not have it against Atlanta. So as a coach, you need to say, okay, they're beating us at the guard. Our guard can't handle it. So we have to change up what we're doing. We have to adjust, adapt, overcome. We need to keep tight end over there to help chip them on the way out. Maybe we keep the running back in there, but we can't let the guy just keep teeing off. Because, when you start playing football and you start feeling it, you get that extra little burst of energy, that little extra adrenaline, that extra rush that says, man, I got this guy. And you just keep getting it over and over. And when you're a guy that's getting beat, after you get beat once or twice, now you start thinking, okay, he's been getting me on the outside, so, man, I really got to get the outside. So that's when he's got me set up because now he's going to go to the inside. And then after a while, you just get gun-shy to the point where I don't know what to do. And you just are flat-footed, and you just keep getting eat up more and more and more and more. And that's where coaching comes in. That's the thing that bothered me so much last year about coaching more than anything else. We were predictable. We had everything planned to go through Zeke Elliott, and we didn't change up. We played great in the first half. The other team figured out what we're doing. We're still playing the exact same thing in the first half that we were doing in the first half. You got cold. You come out flat in the second half. So coaching has a lot of bearing to what we're going to be able to do. So thus far, we're seeing a lot of different looks. We're changing things around a lot more. They figured last year, it's not broke. We got best offensive line. We got Zeke Elliott. We're going to keep everything the same. I think now this year, we're getting to the point where we're realizing we got to do some different stuff. Because right now, regardless of what you hear from Jerry Jones, this is make or break year for Jason Garrett. Jason Garrett only has 3 winning seasons in his time here. 3. 1 playoff win. You had a great quarterback in Tony Romo. That 2014 team, I'm sorry, everybody will say that it was the referees that screwed us. No, it's coaching that screwed us. And it's the same coaching staff that has lost us games over games over games at critical times in the past. I'm hoping, I'm not trying to throw shade on them or anything, but I'm hoping there's a sense of urgency and that there's a change and that there's some more learning. The new guys they brought in. Because if there's no other takeaway, that the Cowboys coaching staff should understand one thing and one thing only. And this needs to be pounded in their heads. They need to paint this on the ceiling above Jason Garrett's bed. It needs to be on the coaches' lockers. Big letters. Do not leave time for Aaron Rodgers. Do not leave time on the clock for Aaron Rodgers. You have got to have the ball last, flat out. you can look at 3 losses in the last 4 years. All 3 of them go back down to that same simple fact. You leave too much time on the clock for Aaron Rodgers. Goes back to coaching. Earl Thomas. Ooh. Eagles fan for life. You're getting trolled? Join the club, buddy. At least I'm not the only one. Respect your audience. Very much so. Okay. I do. It's very rare that I go off on people. But at some point, people will take this stuff a little too far. So I try and keep it real. I like to say what's on my mind, and then I try and move on. Oh, freezing your, yeah. We could go through. I don't want to go through. It's too painful. It's too painful when you think that we were up 26-3 against the Green Bay Packers team, not with Aaron Rodgers, but Matt Flynn, and we lost the game. That's the kind of stuff that I'm talking about. But it does us no good to go ahead and kill the guy right now. Well, they will. Yeah, you're right about that. Tex Bread, welcome to the show. I haven't seen you on here before. Appreciate it. Smith fan 22. All right, I appreciate that, Smith fan, about the Texas Cup. I just got to find something else to put my coffee in. I might need to get a 5-gallon bucket because I can't make it through the day. You know, everybody always says, man, dude, how do you do so much stuff all the time, man? You're always on the go. It's the coffee. Sorry. All right. Now we got that out of the way. I'm hoping that everybody on the Cowboys coaching staff knows that this is it. It's do or die. You've got the offensive line healthy. You've got a stud in Connor Williams. I'm worried about Van Der Esch already getting hurt coming out the box, but it's minor, so we'll see what happens at training camp. But I feel like you've got pieces that if you do the right things, have a bit of luck, you got an opportunity. There's no team out there that is perfect in every position, even you Eagles. You have holes too. You have concerns. You had the perfect storm last year. Everything fell into place. You guys had the right game plan, and you surprised people. Nobody expected you guys to be there. It's a little different when people are. When you have all those expectations, and expectations are the building blocks of resentment. Because when you're expected to win, and you don't, it puts even more pressure on you. So now you've got that pressure on you. Our Cowboys, for once, the Eagles are going to win. And people are talking about the Redskins and the Giants. Go figure on that one. So you're kind of the afterthought, which is fine with me. I'm cool being the underdog. Now, something we touched on Friday night. We had Law Nation and Botch in here. And we have a difference of opinion on David Irving's situation. Vosh believes he's a grown-ass man. It's on him to go ahead and do that stuff. Because what he was suspended for wasn't taking drugs. It was for failure to show up for the test. And Law and Order, Law Nation, let me pull this up because I want to make sure I get this exactly right. Did some research on it. And he's been catching a lot of flack. Apparently, everybody's getting trolled and getting a lot of crap these days. Shout out to Law Nation. But Law said he's been getting a lot of people that are telling him he's an asshole. He's just trying to take care of his daughter and things. I understand, like I said, completely about having to take care of your kids and being responsible for them. Because Michael Anthony Fitness and Michaela, AK Doll, those 2 kids, 5 years old, 3 years old, I had to learn how to walk again, lost my job, and had to start doing odd jobs, start doing woodworking on the side, which eventually became my business and my company. But I had to do all that going through a bad relationship, and I'm not going to go into details because it got ugly between me and my ex-wife. People didn't care what my situation was. All they knew was, you need to do your job. And I'm going to give you how little sympathy there is out there. Because, wow, I forgot about this. I was driving home. I had a minivan. Yeah, a mom vehicle. Because I could use it for working. Take the seats out. I put lumber in it. Also put the kids in it. But I was driving home, and they had a seatbelt checkpoint. Pulled everybody over, make sure they're wearing seatbelts. Pulled you over. You got your seatbelts on. License, registration. Okay. Hey, run your stuff. Okay. Have a nice day. Went on home. About my business. And 2 or 3 days later, there's a knock on the door. I answered the door. It's 2 Prince William County police officers. You're under arrest. What? You're under arrest for driving on a suspended license, and you need to come on downtown now, and they start handcuffing me. I'm like, I don't have anybody. I've got my 5-year-old and my 3-year-old daughter here. There's nobody here to watch them. Can I call some? No, you've got to come with us now. I'm like, I can't leave my 2 kids here. You're talking about driving on a suspended license. I don't know I had a suspended license. What are you talking about? You're coming with us. Fortunately, my neighbor Margaret was in the backyard, and I'm like, Margaret, can you watch the kids? They're taking me to jail for driving on a suspended license. Nobody cared. The police didn't care that I had 2 kids that are right here. They're taking me out. That's the kids' problem. Don't care. All we know is we got a job to do, and you're coming with us right now. And it turned out I got arrested. $200 had to leave for basically bail, and had an arraignment the next morning because it was a jailable offense. And I'm still like, I don't know why my license is suspended. So after I got all this taken care of, I go to DMV and find out my license was suspended for a $25 parking ticket that I didn't know I had. Didn't pay, so they suspended my license. They didn't care that I had a 5-year-old and a 3-year-old child that were going to be left at the house by themselves while they're arresting me. So, we come to David Irving, and I said, if a guy is valuable, and there's only so many people out there that can do that job, you as a business, as an organization, as the Dallas Cowboys, have to say, let's kind of pay a little extra attention to David and make sure we help him out. It's not their responsibility, which is true. But you have to protect your assets. Because understand, there's a lot of great artists out there, a lot of great people, great minds that do incredible things that have some mental problems. Van Gogh, one of the greatest painters in the world, cut his ear off. It was crazy. And you can go through and see a lot of people that do incredible things that have some problems that they could use some help with. So you as an organization, in my mind at least, should say, David, you're in suspension. You've got the protocol. When is your drug test? Because here's how, it's not like he just missed, oh, damn, I forgot. I missed the drug test. You have to understand the best way I can help my daughter is I got to make sure I'm employed. So when you go through, before you get suspended, after you get into the protocol, let me pull this up from Law Nation. Because he made sure he showed up for the team, so he didn't get fined the $82,000. Okay. So if you miss a drug test, you get referred back to the program. Second violation, you get fined equivalent to 2 game checks. Okay? Now, the team is not necessarily notified about that. Okay, so you missed the first one, we can say, okay, you missed one, no problem. The second one, okay, buddy, you're getting fined 2 game checks. Third violation, third time, you get 4 game checks. Fourth violation is when you get suspended. 4 times you missed the test. Now, it states in there that they're not terrible about this. This is where I'm actually surprised, because if you, let's find the other part of it. It clearly states that if you have court, hospital, physical, and are unable to attend an assigned drug testing, all you have to do is generate the documentation to prove basically that you couldn't show up for it, and they will reschedule. I understand you're dealing with your daughter. I completely understand that. I've been there. In the same way, police didn't care that I had the kids there. Your employer, they don't care about that. But you have the opportunity to say, pick up the phone. I can't do this test right now. I'm in the middle of dealing with this. You went to court. You've got the paperwork from court that says you're in court. Lord knows we got the Instagram stuff with her doing stuff. So there's no excuse for you to do that. But that's where the team should be. David, okay, we know you got some problems. Let's help you out. Let's make sure that you get some help. You got somebody to watch daycare. You know, they got gyms in California too. That's where you start having to say, what the F are you thinking? I know it's about the kids. I do. I sympathize. But you can't help the kids if you're unemployed. And a lot of people will take offense to it. I mean, there's some trolls out there. I don't know if y'all are just professional trolls. Maybe that's what y'all are. Critical Fan, Matt W., and some of you other ones, you guys, it's just like, no matter what, you're going to be trying to cuss somebody out. And you'll go from my channel to Law Nation to Vosh. And Vosh, he don't get this stuff, man. He's just like, man, some of y'all fans out there, man, he kind of goes off on. So that's where we are with David Irving. So that makes you wonder, what's going on? And it's the same thing that you have with Randy Gregory, because if you, as long as you don't fail a test, you only get tested once a year. And you know when that test is. To go through with the biggest interview in your life and fail a drug test, I just got no words on that. Now, I'm hoping, in the same way I got my addiction to coffee and it caused me to go crazy and use a Texans cup because I needed that coffee. Okay? I'm going to be straight up with you. I need that coffee. I need those 2 24-ounce cups of coffee. I'm sipping on it all day. I got one that's regular coffee. The other one is iced coffee. And hang some drywall, do some woodworking, sip on some more coffee. Like I said, I'm addicted. I understand. If somebody tries to take my coffee away, I might bite their hand off. So I understand about addiction. So, I mean, I understand the Randy Gregory. Although, I ain't drinking that coffee for $24 million like Randy Gregory lost. I ain't quite that bad yet. So, let's hope that David Irving got the message. He can still work out in training camp. Just the week before the season starts, he can no longer have contact until after that game 4. Now, I'm okay with him coming back. So I'm hoping that during that time, he focuses and realizes what's important, because this is a contract year for him. This, you talk about Dak Prescott doesn't make a break. This is a make or break year for David Irving. He's got to get his stuff together, or else, who knows? Although talent trumps a lot, so somebody will take a chance on him. Okay, so that's that situation. And, of course, we've got Zach Martin. Zach Martin is locked down. He's happy. He's ready to rock and roll. And at least that holdout wasn't like some of the other holdouts that we were looking at. At least he was still there, still with the team, working out, lifting weights and everything, just not on the field. And I'm glad that they got it done. And to me, that's one of those contracts that you look at and say, that's worthwhile. Offensive linemen, generally speaking, play well into their mid and late 30s. You know, with the youth that's on his side, you know he's going to be able to fulfill that contract. Wide receivers is a different position. Running backs is a different position. Those are not long-term ones where you look and say, oh, running back's going to be great till 32, 30. No, they're not. Running backs have about a 5-year shelf life, and then they start going downhill, which makes it kind of crazy then for Zeke Elliott. Will Zeke Elliott get that big, fat payday? That's one of those positions that, do you want to pay a running back who may not be there to fulfill it? I don't know. We have to wait and see how that goes. But we did that with Marion Barber. Gave him a $45 million contract, and 2 years later, he was gone off the team, and we were left with, of course, dead money, something we know a lot about, dead money. And the other thing, of course, is now we've got DeMarcus Lawrence. There's an article out, and I didn't get a chance to read it, where people are saying, why you need to pay him now. I don't think we need to. I love DeMarcus Lawrence. DeMarcus Lawrence got Joe Boo interviewed DeMarcus Lawrence. DeMarcus Lawrence actually has not one but 2 Joe Boo t-shirts. But here's the reality of it. In the 4 years, he had one incredible year, one really good year, rookie year that was until the playoffs, and then another year that was PEDs, back surgery, and 1 sack. So it's a little early to think that he is going to be 100% a sure thing. Right now you've got cap room, and you can pay him now and save actually a little bit of money on this year, or you can wait till next year and it'll cost you a little bit more if he plays lights out. But at least you know for sure. And even next year, you have to start saying, okay, you're getting a little bit up there. Do you have some of these other young guys that start kind of stepping up where you can say you get to be expendable? And I know it always sounds crazy because you want to think about your stars or your Dez Bryant. You want to see them retire as a Dallas Cowboy. You want to see them always. But here's the reality of the football. As you start getting older, you start getting injured more. You start getting slower, unless you're T.O. For some reason, T.O. can still run a 4.4. I'm still amazed by that, but generally speaking, we'll see if he can still take a hit. But as you start getting to be more and more expensive, you start getting more injuries, you start costing the team more, your production starts to go down. So that's where you have to be careful with spending that money. New England just breaks all the rules. New England will trade guys that are in their prime, that are Pro Bowl players. I remember they traded, probably about 5 years ago, their starting guard, who was an all-pro, to Miami for draft picks. And it's like, what? They had a linebacker a couple years ago who wanted to get paid. They sent him off to Siberia, Cleveland Doo-Doo Browns. Got some more draft picks. And you look at their team, and generally speaking, you don't see a lot of Pro Bowlers. One thing you always see with the Cowboys, you see 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 Pro Bowlers every year for the Cowboys, and they win the Super Bowls. But you look at New England, they got 3 sometimes, 4, maybe 5. And they're constantly in the AFC Championship game or in the Super Bowl or winning the Super Bowl or somewhere in there. And it kind of scratches your head because they're getting rid of Pro Bowl players. They're not having monster contracts other than Gronk and Tom Terrific. But what they do is they look at that guy and say, okay, what can I get for him? Can I get somebody who's young in the draft, get some extra picks, pick up some young guys, start playing them, let them play to try and get that big fat contract, let somebody else pay him, or trade him before that, get something in extra so we get some extra picks and keep reloading. And what they also do is they always use everybody. It's not just about the starting 11 on the field. They have people that are set up to play a specific role, or they have plenty of depth where they can go ahead and say, you know what, we can go ahead and let that Pro Bowler go. We've got a guy who's just a shade less or a little less experienced, and we'll put him in there, and we can get some extra picks to fill in some other holes. Because they constantly keep winning. They lose to Julian Edelman. Boom. Still in the Super Bowl. We lose to Des Bryant. Team goes to crap. They lose to Tom Brady, and they still do well with, what's his name, that couldn't bust a grape here. They always have somebody ready to step in because they know that's what happens. That's what happened to our team last year. We had too many guys making a whole lot of money, and when they started getting hurt and didn't perform, you had chump change guys that had to fill in. Wow. Irish 187. Wow. Coming strong to the comments here. Well, if Dak stinks up the place this year, I'll say he stunk up the place. And unfortunately, here's the problem you have. Quarterbacks, there ain't a whole lot of them out there. You can't just go ahead and say, let's go to Walmart and get another quarterback. Which is why you got to go ahead and do everything you can to make the ones work that you have. Look what teams had to give up to try and move up in the draft. Just a couple spaces to try and get a quarterback. It cost a hell of a lot. Look at what guys were paying for free agents. Sam Bradford got $20 million. Do you really think that Sam Bradford is going to be able to make it through a whole season in Arizona? I mean, can he make it through a game?
I'll tell you, I'll give him at least one.
He didn't last year.
I'll give him at least one.
He made it through. Yeah, and the amazing thing was everybody talked about, oh my God, Sam Bradford, he's playing lights out and everything else. Although he left the game early, but he should be fine, and misses the whole season.
Isn't he the highest paid?
He was the last quarterback. Sorry about that, guys. Didn't mean to snort and all that, but he was the last of those rookie big contracts. He got $53 million or something like that on his contract when he came out. And you talk about quarterbacks that have done absolutely nothing, that have made a boatload of money. That's one right there. So if Dak stinks up the place, well, then we got a problem. We'll have to look through and see, is it Dak? Is it the offensive line? Is it the play calling? Because sometimes you can have a guy who looks like he's got bust all over him. Can't play in your system. Doesn't do good. Jared Goff, the Rams. Jared Goff didn't look like he could get out of his own way with Jeff Fisher coaching him. And you think, well, Jeff Fisher, he, with the Titans, he went to a Super Bowl. He's been in the NFL all these years. I guess Goff is just a bust, right? He just sucks. You got rid of him, and it's like, is that the same guy that we saw last year that couldn't get out of his own way? And there's been a lot of quarterbacks throughout the history of football that they didn't do jack crap where they were, and they go someplace else and have right coaching. Steve Young. A lot of people forget that he started out in Tampa Bay. And looked awful. Awful. Goes to San Francisco. Watches him behind Joe Montana. Great coaching. Hall of Famer. Tampa Bay. Excuse me. Doug Williams. Got beat to hell in Tampa Bay. Hit from the left, hit from the right, hit from the center, hit from the back. Just hit every which way. Goes to Washington. Has the greatest second quarter in NFL history in a Super Bowl on one leg. So, when you look at it, if Dak has a bad season, is it just Dak doesn't have ability? Because we've seen he does have ability. 2016 shows you he could throw the ball downfield. 2016 showed he could read the defenses. 2017, first half of the season, it looked like he could still do it. Excuse me. Got a tickle in my throat. that he could do that then until he got beat to hell and hurt his hand. So let's wait and see what he does this year. If the team goes down the toilet, do we look at Jason Garrett and say it's time for him to go? Because we've seen that happen in 2015. We saw 8-8, 8-8, 8-8. We saw mediocrity with Tony Romo year after year after year. We heard the fans saying he's a bum. Tony, oh no, can't win with this guy. We didn't change there. So if he ends up having a bad season, are you just saying it's done and it's over with? Or is it possible that we're getting the same results that we've had with the same coaching staff? Because we've changed everything else on this team. Changed the players. Well, thank you very much, Eric. I appreciate the loving comment from you. But I guarantee you one thing. If we don't have Zeke Elliott missing the team like we did last year, that distraction, if we can keep the offensive line blocking just a little bit, we'll be okay. I'm telling you, we will be okay. Peter Pecker, wow. So you just made another. I just really don't understand you guys.
I had one guy has 7 accounts on my page.
I think this must be the same guy because he keeps coming through with all these things that he wants to do to me. References. I blocked the first one, and I hate to.
Oh, the guy that was on my page was in that page.
I hate to go ahead and block people and stuff like that because here it is. We are America. It is supposed to be freedom of speech and things like that. But I just don't want to have some of the stuff that you guys put on here because I've got guys that are as young as 12 years old. I've got some lovely ladies that come in here and stuff like that. And there's no reason to just be like that, just to be like that. I mean, I know you're trying to get attention. There's probably some young kid that thinks it's, yeah, I'm doing this. Yeah, come on, grow up. Just grow up, please. He's gross as hell. I have to agree with you, Cody. And we do. The bottom line is we need Zeke Elliott to have a good season, and I think he's focused as can be. TMZ is trying to get anything they can on him, and he has been laser focused, and he is now trying to be a leader. And I don't think he's had to be that before, but I'm happy that he is trying to take initiative. Dak Prescott is trying to be a leader on the team as well. You were talking about Cole Beasley, weren't you, Michael?
Yeah, he said that Dak Prescott has been a leader since day one.
Since day one.
That came out Cole Beasley's mouth on that interview they recently did.
And I got to tell you, Cole Beasley, and I got this.
Thank that guy right there from
right there. This one's autographed by Cole Beasley.
No. Thank the dog right there.
Well, okay. I'm gonna actually start just keeping the Cole Beasley hot sauce right here. I got to tell you because I'm gonna be honest with you.
He's cool though. He's cool people.
Listen, I will tell it like it is. I thought for sure that Cole Beasley was going to be cut. I said at the end of the season, I said, guys, I don't think we're going to be here when the season comes around. I said Des Bryant. And you guys know I pounded in the head. I kept getting told I was an idiot. There's no way in the world you're going to cut Des Bryant. Des Bryant, just stop it. Okay? But I said Cole Beasley. I actually thought Cole Beasley and Ryan Switzer that they would go ahead and say, okay, let's stick with Ryan Switzer. He's a younger version of Cole Beasley. He can kind of fill in, and he's cheaper. And I thought for sure that was what the narrative was. I did not think Cole Beasley. I said it because when we were getting ready to go to the autograph signing, I'm like, Mike, I don't know that Cole Beasley's going to make it. I don't know that he's going to be on the team. And I'm being honest with you. Cole, I apologize, man. I believe me. Cole was fantastic when we met him. Loved Joe Boo and everything else. But Cole Beasley, I think he is ready for a breakout season again. But I did not think he was going to be here. I don't know. And if he plays lights out, all those guys that say that I'm a jinx and all that, okay, all right. If Sean Lee has another Pro Bowl year, don't be mad at me. Because Lord knows we've been around the Cowboys already, and next month there's another autograph signing up here. So hopefully Cole Beasley, he's got it. But Cole, he's looking good. Never go Houston. Shaking my head. Okay. All right, Cowboys family. Denko 28, you hit the nail on the head. It's like some people have a career in trolling me, and some of them are actually Cowboy fans. I mean, I expect that from Eagles, fans and stuff like that. But some of them Cowboy ones. And the thing that really kills me more than anything else is how the cockroaches come out when they think they got you. I am more about trying to bring people up than down. I will honestly give you the shirt off my back, although it may be a little bit sweaty because I'm always working. But we've gotten to the point in this country that if you think that you can get yourself up by putting somebody down, you're going to do that. And that's not the way I was brought up and raised. I was brought up that if you can do something to help somebody else out and it's not hurting you or it's not taking away from what you're doing, you do that. Because the world needs us to help each other out. You get people out there that, oh man, like the whole Earl Thomas thing. I got several people that send me messages about what's going on. Sometimes they're right, sometimes they're wrong. You guys knew before the schedule was released out there, I was telling you some of the games beforehand. Because I had somebody who is a friend of one of the Cowboys people that's feeding me the stuff that's going on. I heard about David Irving at 1 o'clock that the announcement was going to be 4 o'clock about him being suspended. I kind of went on that one a little bit and said, listen, it was going to be snooze. I didn't want to go out there because when I had somebody tell me about Earl Thomas, they said the Cowboys were talking to Seattle about him and they're offering Orlando Scandrick. Kind of made sense because Orlando Scandrick was still on the team and he was begging to go. And why not say, okay, so I put it out there. So I had people that's out there just lambasting me and telling me, you're just a clickbaiter, you're a liar. No, I got it wrong. I pulled an Ian Rappaport. And instead of people saying, oh, okay, no problem, people were trying to throw me under the bus and say, basically go to other people and say, F him, he's a piece of crap, and trying to gain on my kind of downfall or me getting something wrong. And to me, that's just not right. But hey, I guess I'm different than the way the rest of it. It's kind of a cutthroat world out here. Okay, Cowboys passion. There's another one. There we go. And here's the thing. I'm just a guy. Dallas Cowboy fan like the rest of you guys. I am. If you don't like what I'm saying, you're not being forced to watch this. You're not tied to a chair with a television in front of you that you can't change the channel. I appreciate anybody who comes in that watches, comments, wants to be part of it. I appreciate every single one of you. I really do. But if you don't like what I'm saying, why do you spend so much effort telling me how stupid it is, how bad it is? Life is too short. Seriously. To waste time in stuff that you don't believe in. So yes, my Cowboys family loves what Dak will be bringing. Well, I'm glad that you're not one of the ones that are just out there just lambasting and talking about how much Dak Prescott. It's like at least do some work behind it. Give me some video. Don't just tell me he sucks, he's a piece of crap, and get him out of here. At least do some work behind it. Okay, Dak rocks. All right, well, and Dak is truly, just like Tony Romo, and maybe it's just that it's the Dallas Cowboys, just polarizing. But with that being said, I want to thank everybody who came in here, who's helping me with my addiction to coffee, who watched, who commented, and who trolled here on the Joe Boo Sports Report. I appreciate each and every one of you guys, even you trolls. And hopefully we can get through this 5 weeks together and get ready for our Dallas Cowboys. We only have 82 days, 18 hours, 24 minutes, and 5 seconds until the kickoff of the 2018 season. And I want to thank you guys, as always, for being part of the Joe Boo Sports Report. And I'll see you soon.